Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 10 o'clock on June 3rd, Thursday, and let's just give it a couple minutes for people to join us, and we'll start the meditation from there. Okay? Thanks so much for joining me this morning. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. 10:02. And let's see. I uh, I want to preface this meditation with yesterday when I was eating, and I eat a pretty rigid diet compared to most people. I quite often eat one meal a day, but lately I've been doing kind of a light meal for lunch and then a bigger meal for dinner, and that seems to work out better for me. So I'm not binging at dinner time, but um, I had a piece of cheesecake that was still from my son's birthday from the other day with some blueberries on top of it. And then I got this was the third day in a row because heaven forbid any sweets or desserts are wasted. And then, so I was getting the song playing in my head by Third Eye Blind, Semi Charmed Kind of Life. Like, okay, you're going to live, kind of a semi charmed kind of life, not a great life, but semi charmed. Uh, but, I persisted to eat the cheesecake with the blueberries, and then I went back for another, even though Spirit was advising me otherwise. So, it's not, I don't know what to say about it. Sometimes we're just simply drawn into these experiences, these habits, these addictions, or whatever labels we want to give to them. It really doesn't matter. But the truth is, we're still the truth of who we are. The truth of who we are has not left us, has not faded. Only the beliefs, maybe guilt, shame, things like that might get in the way of us just being still connected and rooted with the truth of who we are. So we'll see where this meditation goes today. And in any case, thank you for joining. Let's meditate. So just allowing your body to be completely comfortable, whatever you're sitting or lying on, just surrendering into it, just allowing it to just be completely supported physically, but also allowing your body, your mind, your spirit just to be completely supported by God or whatever that higher source is for you, if you have one. Just really, let's just give this meditation over. I'm going to say God, and you replace it with whatever term you want to use, whatever label. Just giving it over to God and just allowing it to go in the direction that each of us individually needs it to go. And just letting go of all the agendas and all the intentions. No attention, no agenda. Just come from a place of pure innocence and allow the meditation to flow in whatever direction it needs to flow. Maybe it will be where you connect with the silence and stillness of who you are. Maybe you have the experience where your mind is busy and so-called stress is coming up. Just allow the mind to do what it's going to do. Just don't fight any of it. You don't need to. You're the observer of it, the witness to it. And as the witness, you don't need to analyze the thoughts or fight with them or try to say do self-talk. Now, Brett, you shouldn't be thinking that way. When we do self-talk like that, it just empowers the thought as if it's real in the first place, and it is not. How do I know it's not? When you have a thought that says, man, I really just can't stand that person. I just want to tell them off. I just want to say what's on my mind with them. What keeps you from doing that? Is it the thought? The thought wants to do it. The mind wants to do it. The person wants to do it. But there's something deeper that has this awareness, and maybe sometimes it's appropriate to tell the person off. I don't have judgment about that either, but I'm just saying there's something that has this moral compass, this deeper understanding of what the truth is, that is able to be conscious and aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions, your actions, that is simply a witness to all of that. So some of you may have caught this at the beginning, some of you may have not, but I feel like the words are coming through in this meditation. Yesterday, when I was eating, my son's birthday was on May 31st. We bought some cheesecake to put some blueberries on top of it. I've been enjoying a piece every day. Yesterday, my body wasn't fully empty because I've been doing a little bit for lunch and then a bigger dinner, whereas I was just doing just dinner, just one meal a day. And so my body wasn't quite emptied out yesterday. And after I ate dinner, I wanted to, of course, have another piece of cheesecake because heaven forbid that I should waste a dessert in any way. That is just horribly wrong, right? So, Spirit, as I'm about to get a piece of cheesecake, Spirit was playing the song in my head, Semi Charmed Kind of Life, song by Third Eye Blind. A semi charmed kind of life. That's all you're getting. I'm going to just tease you. I know you want more. But in any case, that was the song that was playing. I understand the meaning of that song. It's like if you have this, you're going to have the experience that your life is not going to be great. It'll be semi-charmed. It's like okay kind of life, which, clearly is not what I want. Clearly is not what you want. I know that about all of you. I'm sure if you're listening, watching this video. So, I did my best to breathe through it and just be conscious and aware that who really wants this piece of cheesecake? Is it my true self? My true self, the emptiness, the one that is beyond anything physical, mental, or emotional, um, doesn't want or need anything. It doesn't want or need anything. The one that does want it is my person. My person has attached this idea that I am a sugar addict. I love sugar, and I've perpetuated this story for many, many years. With that said, I certainly have made leaps that have been very powerful and beautiful. So I don't want to diminish my person in some way. But the truth is, it's my person that wants this cheesecake. And I identify with that I want and I need this cheesecake. So I'm conscious and I'm mindful. I'm aware of that thought. I'm just being present with it. And I notice it come up and it comes up. And then I just make the choice to say, okay, and as Eckhart Tolle has said, at least do 3 conscious breaths. If you have an addiction, do 3 conscious breaths to move it through. And then if you have to have it, embrace it and be present with it. Don't make it bad or wrong. So I do my best to do that. And sometimes it's better than others. And quite oftentimes, I feel God's support, God's understanding that I'm making a sincere effort to not, do this addictive behavior, that I'm not acting on it, at least without effort, of being conscious and aware and moving that energy through. But I also recognize sometimes there's a song that comes from spirit that says, it's an older song. I don't even know who sings it. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh, yeah. So, wow, you've come to a beautiful concert today. Lucky you. And any case, I know exactly what that song means as well. It means that spirit is not going to support me if I make this choice to eat it, meaning that they feel I have the capacity within me to choose differently. And sometimes I feel that's true, and sometimes that part of me that just wants it anyhow makes that choice. And so, where I'm going with this is we all have these labels, these things that we identify with, that we label as an addiction or a habit, that we identify with as the truth. And that I'm addicted to sugar, I'm addicted to sex, I'm addicted to shopping, I'm addicted to whatever that thing is that we feel we have to have in order to be happy. Or but of course it's not happiness. It's an external pleasure, and at best will be short-lived into a place of joy. And it's possible even that it's not even short-lived, that because we're identifying with it as we're addicted, and we're identifying with the guilt that I know I shouldn't be doing this right now. And so we eat the cake, we have the sex, we do the shopping, all with guilt and shame the whole time, and we don't even fully enjoy it. I'm sharing this story with you because I believe that everyone can relate to this. And so when I hear these songs and I go against what I believe Spirit is guiding me to do, my mind and my person hook into this, and there is a guilt that comes up from that. And maybe a shame even that comes up from it. And it's the part that says, "Oh shit, man, I could have done better than that." And oh, I don't know why Spirit was asking me to do this. I couldn't do this. Who is Spirit giving this song to? Semi-charmed kind of life, or I'm a fool to do your dirty work. They are not singing that song to the truth of who I am, because the truth of who I am is already rooted in peace, in joy, in love, and in God. They are singing that song to my person, to the one who is identifying with this addiction that says I have to have this in order to be happy, and to the person who says I shouldn't have done that. I feel guilty. I feel shame. I'm not listening to God. I'm not strong. I'm weak. I don't have enough willpower. Da 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 da. Please hear this as my person hears this as well. That the truth of who we are has never abandoned us, cannot abandon us, will not go away, and cannot be diminished in any way whatsoever. The only thing that can be diminished is this idea of who we think we are and who we think we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be in the world, how we're supposed to show up in the world, and these ideas that we shouldn't have done that, and I feel guilty because God asked me to do otherwise, and now look what I've done. I'm living a semi-charmed kind of life. God is not supporting me because God is not going to continue to do my dirty work, knowing that I can choose differently. These are all stories and beliefs that we have hooked into as if it's the truth of who we are. But Spirit is not guiding you. Spirit is not guiding you, the true self. Spirit is working with a person until you can detach from that idea that you are the addiction, until you can detach from that story and that idea and that label and that preconditioning that says, I'm addicted to this thing, that I have to have it, or that I am a bad person because I've had this experience. You can believe that you are a bad person, but be aware of that. Be a witness to that belief. Don't let that belief pull you in as if it's the truth of who you are, as if it represents the truth of who you are. It does not. Anytime you do something that you believe is bad or wrong, is not coming from your true self. It is coming from the person and the idea of the person and the mind that says, I need to be this way, I need to be that way, I should say this, I should do that, I'm too weak, I'm not courageous enough. All this guilt and shame and blame that comes along with the person, but not the truth of who you are. I hope that I am a living example right now of the shame and guilt that we all carry, that we get hooked into as if it's the truth of who we are. It is not. It is just another story coming from the mind. And we have bought into the story. We have been sold a bill of goods that says this is the truth of who we are. It is not. And so what do we do with that? We be a witness to that. We be a witness to the thoughts that says, I'm weak, I'm not courageous enough, I shouldn't have done that. And we be a witness to the feelings that come up with it. Oh man, I feel guilt, I feel shame, I feel frustrated, I feel disappointed, I'm angry with myself, I'm uh, just all these feelings. Don't deny them or push them away. Just simply be aware of them, but recognize they are not who you are. And honestly, I hope you're connecting with the potency behind it because we all do this. We all carry this shame and guilt and blame because our mind has again convinced us that this is the truth of who we are. And as long as we identify with that as the truth, we will always feel the shame and guilt by any of our so called bad addictions. And it's not to say there won't be consequences from our choices. Okay? When I eat sugar, my body does have a certain reaction to that. The question is the reaction um, because of what I ate or because what I believed about what I ate, because of the guilt about what I ate, because of the shame about what I've ate? And I'm not just talking about my addiction with food. Maybe that's an addiction with you as well. But whatever habit or addiction you have, is it the actual addiction or is it your belief about it, that it's bad, that it's wrong? My body, the place I'm at right now is when I eat sugar, actually, I'm doing quite well with it most of the time if I'm taking good care of my body and taking good care of my mind, meaning I'm not being pulled into the drama of the guilt and the shame. Part of me still feels blocked because I let me see if the words come through because I don't know if this is for me to share or not. Because ultimately, this is another story. Who is the one that is blocked? Who is saying that? That too can be witnessed by the true self. Anything that can be seen by the spiritual eye, in other words, witnessed, observed, or simply watched, is not who you are. Who you are is the witness to those things. So if you're able to witness the thoughts, it is not you. It cannot be you. The thoughts come and go. It is only the witness that remains. The feelings come and go, but the witness who observes the feelings remains. And the witness is able to observe your perceptions of the world and is able to observe your actions as well. But none of those things can observe you. They are not conscious and aware. Your existence, knowing that you exist right now in this moment, takes a certain consciousness and awareness. And it's that consciousness and awareness that is also conscious and aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions, and your actions. You are a witness to all of it. And it doesn't matter what experiences you have. If you turn to a piece of cheesecake or turn to whatever your habit or addiction is, if you turn to those, and as long as you are witnessing those and recognize that is not the truth of who you are, those old habits and beliefs will begin to fall to the wayside because you are no longer empowering them and identifying with them as the truth of who you are. Right now, I just invite you just to come back to the present moment. Come back to the awareness. The one who is aware of my voice, the one who is aware of my words, the one who is aware of your breath, the one who is aware of your stomach as it moves gently in and out, the one who is aware of the sounds around you. But this one who is aware does not need a physical body, a physical mind, or anything physical, mental, or emotional to be aware. Even before you were born into this body, even before you were conceived, conscious awareness and the truth of who you are was still and is still the isness and the pure beingness, and will always be that, has always been that, and will always be that. There's nothing you can do to keep yourself from just the pure beingness and the pure isness of who you are. And you were that before you were born or even conceived, because conscious and awareness is the eternal truth of who you are. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm not trying to persuade you or convince you. I am inviting you to just explore with us and let go of this idea that you need anything physical to recognize the truth of who you are. And it doesn't take any knowledge to recognize the truth of who you are. Even the baby, before it learns its words and before it can speak, is still conscious and aware that it exists. So just coming back to being aware of the breath. And so what I invite you to do today, first of all, you know what? I'm feeling drawn just let go of all the past and let go of all your worries about the future, at least for this meditation. That's my invitation to you. Just let go of all of it. And I invite you to let go of everything that you have ever learned and everything that you have ever learned, just let it go. And the mind might say, well, wait a minute, Brett. That would be silly and stupid because if I let go of everything that I have know, then I would have to start all over. That is an illusion. Because if your intelligence, if your knowledge, if your wisdom comes from the mind and everything that you've learned and comes from the body, what happens when the body and the mind fade away, when they die? How can you still remain intelligent? How can you still have memories? How can you still know you exist? You know you exist because you're conscious and aware that is beyond anything physical. And it's that same conscious awareness of who you are that is connected with the eternal intelligence and the eternal wisdom of the universe, of God, of life. And so, my inviting you to let go of everything you've learned is a way of emptying out so completely that you can see that what remains is the innocence and the freedom of who you are that has access to all the answers, all the intelligence, all the wisdom that is needed for each present moment. And again, I'm not here to persuade you or convince you of anything at all. I'm inviting you, at least for this moment, just inviting you to let go of everything you've learned, everything you think you know, letting go of all your memories. Just for this meditation, if you want to pick it up afterwards, please do so. But I'm just inviting you to empty out so fully and so completely that you have the experience, the direct experience of seeing what remains, of seeing that which remains that is beyond anything physical, mental, or emotional. It's just the pure emptiness, the pure isness, the pure beingness of who you are, the one that is conscious and aware of everything. And so, if there's anything at all you're holding on to, I invite you to let that go. Just even letting go of anything that you're holding on to materially. Maybe you're holding on to a nice home or a nice car. Maybe you're holding on to your money. Maybe you're holding on to loved ones. You're afraid to let them go. Maybe you're holding on to your body or life or even God. Because the truth is, there's nothing to hold on to. These things in your life are not here because you are holding on to them. They're here because life and God are giving you the exact experience you need to awaken to the truth of who you are. Once again, you don't have to believe me with any of this. I'm just inviting you to explore with me for this moment, just for this moment. Just see, just for a second, just for a second, let go of everything that you are not. And even let go of everything that you are. Why do I say that? I say that because you can't get rid of you. The only thing that you can get rid of is let go of, is these ideas of who you think you are. So by letting go of everything you are, You're only clearing out a bunch of ideas and concepts and self images of who you think you are. And it's those very self images that we describe as the person. It's those self images that block you from recognizing the pure beingness of who you are that is right here, right now, in this very moment. You don't have to wait 10 years or a year or a week or a day. You don't have to wait 1 minute or 1 second to be the truth of who you are, because the truth of who you are is timeless and has nothing to do with time whatsoever. It is you here right now. Also, you don't have to travel to another country, another state, another mile, another foot. You don't have to move 1 single inch or 1 single atom to be the truth of who you are, because there's no distance between you and the truth of who you are. No distance whatsoever. There's no traveling involved. There's no time involved. You are here, right now. The only thing that would keep you from having that direct experience of that truth is some belief that stands in the way of recognizing that right now in this moment. So I invite you, all limited beliefs and all fears, just let them all go. It's all stories. You don't need to hold on to any of it. I love these meditations. I love them because I feel my vibration shift and change. And I know that the energy that comes through, the vibration comes through, has the potency, the possibilities of sharing that vibration and energy to lift others up as well. And that you also have within you, as the truth of who you are, to lift yourself up and to lift me up as well. And as Ram Dass has beautifully said, we are all just walking each other home so that we can return to the truth that we have always been and that we will always be. And that we will no longer have to seek peace and joy and love or God, because we will recognize we are already that. We are already that truth. And right now, you have an opportunity just to let go of absolutely every single belief that you carry, all your limitations, letting go of all your fears, letting go of all the things you're holding on to, letting go of all the control, letting go of all the stories and self images of who you think you are, so that the only thing that remains is the pure beingness, the pure isness, the pure emptiness and nothingness of who you are, which needs absolutely nothing. And apparently, we're going to be blessed with the tree cutting service that's here. But it's funny because I have shared this metaphor with you before, and it's the metaphor about, you know, looking at the tree of life and how we spend so much time healing issue by issue and cutting off branch by branch of the tree, only to cut off 3 branches of the tree when 3 or 4 more branches grow back, 3 or 4 issues come back. Because when you're healing the person, when you're fixing what you think is the broken person, and the person is broken, but the truth of who we are is not. But when you're so focused on healing and growing and fixing the person, then yes, you will grow, and the person will grow and heal, and that's fine. That's fine. But when you're so focused on only healing the person and not returning home to the truth of who you are, there will always be an endless number of issues that you need to heal because you are identifying with the person as the truth of who you are. And because the person is connected with your mind, and because the mind is caught in the judgments of good and bad, there will always, always, always be new issues to heal. So you don't need to keep focusing on cutting off each branch by branch, each issue by issue. Let us just remove the tree from the root, which is to say, to transcend the mind and recognize that you are not the mind. And when you have that recognition and you are simply the witness to all the thoughts, the feelings, the perceptions, and the actions, then it doesn't matter what happens in your life as the witness to those, as the one who doesn't need those to be any different than what they are. Peace is the truth of who you are in that moment. So these trees are being removed. Let them remove the trees. Let you remove the tree. Let you move beyond the story and the idea of who you think you are so that the truth of who you are remains. And so the practice, I don't know if practice is the right word. I'll use it for right now. What I invite you to do today and every day, if you're committed to it, just keep coming back to the present moment. You can use the breath if you want, or if you're able to come back to the stillness and the silence of who you are, but just coming back to the present moment. When your mind starts drifting, not just in this meditation, but throughout the day, throughout any days, when your mind starts drifting, as soon as you are aware of it, just come back to the present moment. Don't fight the mind. Don't try to change the mind. Don't worry about that the mind is busy. Don't worry about even that your mind has a lot of negativity. Wow, I don't like how this day is going. Just notice that. No, I don't want to notice it. Can you notice that you don't want to notice it? I'm feeling so frustrated with life. I just want it to be better. I just want to be happy. Just be a witness to that thought, those beliefs, those feelings. It is not who you are. You are simply the one who is a witness to all of that. Let your mind do what it wants to do. Let your mind argue or cry out or just be obnoxious. Just let the mind do whatever the mind do. You are not the mind. You are the witness to that. You don't need to engage it. You don't need to have self-talk to correct it. You don't need to fight against it. As soon as you are aware of that thought, boom, just come back to the present moment. The more you practice that, the more you will disempower the mind, where it begins to naturally go into stillness more and more because it recognizes that you are not listening, and your person begins to recognize that it is not the truth, and all these old issues and beliefs begin to naturally fall away. The branches naturally fall off because they recognize that they are not the truth. You recognize that it is just an illusion, it is just Maya. So just coming back to the present moment, just being here, right here, right now. There's nowhere you need to go. There's nothing you need to do. There's no effort involved with this meditation. And I also invite you, if there's anything in life that you're wanting to be different than what it is within yourself, within your friends or your family, within anyone at all, maybe somebody that is your nemesis, your so called nemesis, or anything going on in the world whatsoever. Maybe you're hooked into these things that you feel you can't be happy until climate change is healed, until COVID goes away, until the economic situation changes, until you get more money, until you get the right job. These are all just stories that are getting in the way of you experiencing the peace, joy, and love of this present moment. What is the present moment? Present moment is not the past, it's not the future, but it's also in flow and acceptance with life, with God, trusting and knowing and having faith that everything that is unfolding right now in this moment is absolutely perfect and does not need to be fixed or changed at all. Does that mean that you can't make changes? No. It means that you are so complete with this present moment and you're so at peace with this present moment. You've so fully accepted and surrendered into this present moment that any action will arise out of a place of peace and stillness within yourself. And that is the greatest action of all. So just being aware of your breath or the stillness or silence, whatever works best for you, just simply noticing. If the mind gets busy, again, let the mind do its thing. You don't even need to pay attention to it. Honestly, the more you ignore the mind, the more you will step into stillness and to the truth of who you are. Now, when I say ignore the mind, it's true with the thoughts, with the feelings. You don't need to be caught in the feelings either, but don't discard the feelings, meaning that be in the world but not of it. So be aware of the feelings. Don't make them bad or wrong or fight against them. Notice them, be present with them, but recognize that you still just need to come back to the present moment, which is home and where truth resides, where you reside. Your mind is drifted, simply coming back to the present moment, back to whatever your focal point is, breath, silence, stillness. Just come back again, back home to the awareness of who you are. We're going to begin to bring this meditation to a completion. So if you'd like to continue meditating, please mute or turn your device off. And thank you so much for joining me today. And for those of you who are ready to finish, just taking in a nice deep breath, bringing lots of energy in this wonderful body that gets us around, and doing a little stretching, moving around. And taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. And I'm going to go over to Facebook if anybody wants to say hi or comments or questions. And I'm going to go over to Facebook. And let's see, Cheryl Gronstead. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning. Hopefully you're able to get the whole thing in. I know kind of you have your work thing going on too, so hopefully able to get the whole meditation in. And let's see here. Um, I think Sandy already left, so I'm not going to worry about going over there. Um, So okay, let's see. Michelle, thanks for the serenade. Yeah, sorry to put you through that. I'm gonna be heading over to my mom's today, so in South Haven. So I'll be doing meditation from there. But we'll still have meditation Friday and Saturday, and I think that's about it. Um, yeah, I guess that's about it, you guys. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. And if anyone wants to make comments, you can always make them after we close this out, too. Okay? All right. Have a beautiful day, you guys. Bye bye.